Of course you didn't like it, the fourth hater. You go into new entries of your favourite franchise just to hate them because I think before I speak. Mortal Kombat 2021 has a lot of the same issues we criticise MK Annihilation for. Too many characters thrown in with no attempt at characterization or explanation, solely to be someone for the heroes to fight. For example, explain to me Melina's character in this film without prior knowledge from the games. You can't, because she has none, just like in Annihilation. Nitara gets no spoken dialogue and enters the film just to have one fight that lasts all of 20 seconds. Even fucking Slipknot was shown more respect than she was. I think he had more screen time too. And then Kabal weirdly has his dynamic with Kano from MK9 inverted so that he's the one trying to bring Kano back to the Black Dragon? Why not just make Kabal the good guy then? Oh right, so we can throw a unique power set against Liu Kang, which is the only matchup the franchise's hero has in the film, by the way. It's unclear if Goro is the MK champion here because he's given no greater significance than any other character and just walks out of a fucking shed to fight Cole Young. Nor is it any clearer what Shang Tsung's exact role and motivation are, since the film just expects you to be familiar with the game versions. That's not how you make an adaptation. Even if we've seen it enough times for it to be annoying, like the death of the Waynes, you still need to explain it for the newcomers in the audience. It's like that classic Stan Lee quote, every comic is someone's first. Every new interpretation of a story is someone's first introduction to that story. You can't just make a new version and expect the viewers to know enough from past iterations to fill in the blanks, especially if you want to tell us this is a new interpretation that it's unfair to compare to the originals, when that's what we have to do to make sense of the damn thing. Wait, I predicted this? And if Cole was supposed to be the audience surrogate, our window into this world to whom things can naturally be explained, then they did a pretty piss poor job of utilising him in that way. Cole has no character whatsoever. He's the most stock, safe, Hollywood archetype in the entire franchise. A sad dad with a daughter he needs to protect. He's the lead of a PlayStation exclusive cinematic experience thrown into a genre he does not work in. The only thing that deviates from this overused template is that his wife is still in the picture. His explanation, which I won't spoil even though it's blatantly obvious from the first shot he appears in, is the most Mary Sue fanfic garbage this side of Alice. And his power is literally plot armor to protect him because he is, by his own admission, not a good fighter. And yet they pit him against the guy who might well be the Mortal Kombat champion?
Fucking whoops.
His purpose is to be the guy everything is explained to, which is shared by Sonya, Kano and typically Johnny Cage. There was absolutely no reason to include Cole in this film, other than to suck off a certain character who's been sucked drier than Quan Chi was by MK9. No one really cared about why the cast have superpowers, and every attempt to explain them after Sub-Zero and Deception has been awful. And what we got here makes absolutely no sense. So, Cole's much dunked on birthmark,
What does that mean?
It means he was born with it.
isn't actually a birthmark.
What does that mean?
It means he wasn't born with it.
It's a transferable symbol of a fighter's worthiness to compete, which Raiden takes super seriously even though it doesn't go to people with great destinies like Liu Kang. No, he got his from killing a human trafficker who had it. Was the unnamed human trafficker chosen by destiny to fight for Earthrealm? And yeah, it can be stolen by killing the person, which indicates that they aren't special even if the dragon awakens their powers, because the film gives us two instances of them being stolen via kills. So Kung Lao being a dick to Sonya because she doesn't have the sign, or Raiden being a dick to Cole for not unlocking his arcana, comes off as bafflingly idiotic. Also, characters having a temporary dragon symbol on their bodies just sounds like the tattoos from Annihilation. The fight scenes aren't particularly good outside of the two Scorpion and Sub-Zero fights, and one of those is dragged down by adding another character into the mix. And with creator comments and the implications of the film, those who died are just seemingly gonna come back, which makes their deaths feel utterly pointless. For a film marketed so much on its violence and fatalities, there really wasn't that much of either. And when the fighters have no character, no goals or motivations, no dynamics between them, and apparently no stakes as they'll just come back in the sequel, then what is even the point of these fights and finishes beyond bland spectacle? The 95 movie, for all its faults, had heroes with actual backstories and reasons to fight, interesting locations for the fights instead of 75% of them taking place in a fucking cave, and it felt like something was achieved by the end because Liu Kang saved Earthrealm. In this film, a bunch of bland cardboard cutouts fight in a cave, and because the tournament hasn't even started yet, everyone who died is going to come back, and we've accomplished less than Jin did in that god-awful Tekken movie. And yes, I did say that the tournament hasn't started yet. There is no Mortal Kombat in Mortal Kombat. What is this, Halo the Fall of Reach? For as badly made as it was, Annihilation actually felt like a movie with things that actually mattered by the end. 2021 feels like an MKTV show that spends its first half on origins and set up for the tournament, but the network demanded a big climax for the mid-season finale that the show structure was not designed to accommodate, leading to a rushed, barely coherent filler episode where everyone who died will just come back once the show returns after the break and nothing will have been achieved. The third act is simply abysmal. You know, I criticise Scorpion's Revenge for its many problems, but at least its protagonist was a character who achieved his titular goal by the end. This movie is the MK11 to Scorpion's Revenge's MK9, a product that's so bad it makes you want to pull a spoonie and take back everything bad you said about that old one because, in retrospect, it could have been a lot worse. If you think I'm being too critical of the story because MK never had a good story, you are the problem. It's just an excuse to not evaluate the stories with any level of critical thinking and does nothing but excuse the writers from having to try. MK can be better. It has been better. And until we make it clear that this level of storytelling is not acceptable, MK won't have a good story. It will continue to just throw power sets against each other and throw in blood and gore and be cemented as a shallow spectacle in the public consciousness. Despite what people might say because of the overabundance of Easter eggs, this isn't a movie made for longtime fans of MK who care about the characters in the story. No, this is a film made for people who play MK for the guest fighters. Or Xavier Mendoza, who has agreed to give some brief contrasting thoughts here before he shuffles off back to his own channel. Xavier?
The weird thing is, I agree with everything you're saying. Like, no irony here. You're totally right. But I still liked it anyway. Yeah, the characters aren't developed well, the world building is messy, the fights are emotionally weightless, and it's built around a character that's wearing literal plot armor. But I still had fun? I still want to watch it again? It's hard to explain, but I'll try. I know Mortal Kombat isn't exactly known for its stellar writing, especially in its later years, but I go into it looking for more of the experience. I like seeing Sub-Zero kicking ass and taking names. I love Scorpion being clearly the favorite character to the point that he's ridiculously overpowered. I love seeing Liu Kang and Kung Lao team up and battle various stupid 3D era characters whose names you forgot if you're anyone but Snake and myself. The movie is shallow, but the spectacle is strong. It's not a powerful story on its own, but as a fan of the series it reminded me of all the things I love about Mortal Kombat, and I had such a good time that all the flaws started to wash off in my mind. I know this movie is deeply broken and has some major problems, but those didn't really hamper my enjoyment because I was just happy to see some familiar faces take on a fresh new live action appearance and relive some classic moments. The movie didn't strive to be anything amazing, and I'm as disappointed as the next guy that Mortal Kombat tends to get stuck with subpar stories in favor of gore and flashy visuals. But it's happened so many times now in the games and otherwise that I've gotten too accustomed to it, and I realize I don't hold against the series anymore. I love it for what it is, but I also know what it can be. This movie is a celebration of the former, and in that regard, I can't really hate it. Maybe one of these days I'll talk about it more in detail, but for now, I must take my leave and get back to the Netherrealm to stand around in a cave and hope a young traveler on a quest wants to come fight me.
Hopefully, by listening to both our takes, especially if Xavier does make a video and you guys make it a success to encourage him to do more, you can get a feel for what you can expect from the movie based on what it is you're looking for. And if you've already seen it, maybe you can come to understand how the other side views things. Unless you think the movie is a masterpiece and genuinely good on its own. In that case, there's really no helping you. Honestly, I wasn't even planning to make a video like this anytime soon, but Xavier proposing a collaboration of some sort led to me writing way more than was necessary, so there you go. And I wouldn't have even been able to see the movie because WB thinks not making their streaming service with exclusive content available in the UK is in any way acceptable in the age of Twitter, if not for Brusque Poet asking me to take part in a group stream to watch and chat about it with him and Sonic Heart XD. If you liked this video, then make sure to show your appreciation to these guys by checking out their videos on the movie and the numerous other subjects they cover. Today's recommended videos are the aforementioned Brusque and Sonic videos, as well as an open slot for Xavier to maybe take one day.